Okay, here's warm-up 9.4.3. I'm going to graph this function, first of all, using the amplitude, period, and vertical shift. So this one does have a reflection because I've got this negative here. Okay, so I'm going to reflect over the theta axis, which means instead of my S-curve going up first, it's actually going to go down first, so it's going to look something like this. Okay, all right, and then the 2 gives me the amplitude. The amplitude is always positive, even if there's a negative in front. The negative just gives you the reflection. So the amplitude is 2, okay, and then this is the K value. That's related to the period, but that's not the period itself. The period for sine or cosine is going to be 2 pi over k. So now that I know that k is 5/6, I'm going to do 2 pi over 5/6 in order to find the period. And I'm going to rewrite this as division so that I can clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to think about that as 2 pi divided by 5/6. And now I can rewrite it as multiplication by flipping the fraction. Okay, and that's going to give me 12 pi over 5. Okay, I can't reduce that, so that's going to be my period. Okay. Now the vertical shift is going to come from this bit. That's going to be my vertical shift, so everything's going to move down 1 unit. So you could say -1 or just down 1. Okay. Now, when it comes to graphing this, I like to start with the midline first. So midline is going to come from the vertical shift. I'm going to make a dashed line across here. There's my midline. Okay, and then I'm going to use the amplitude to make 2 other vertical lines. So from the midline, I'm going to go up to and down to. If I go up to, I'm here. If I go down to, I'm here. And I'll make some horizontal lines. Did I say vertical lines earlier? These are horizontal lines. Okay, so now I've got what I call the roadmap. So all of my critical points are going to be on these 3 lines, okay? And I'm actually ready to draw the curve, so I know it's going to be this basic S shape. So I'm going to start on the midline right there, and I'm going to go down first since this is reflected, going down, then back to the midline, then up to the top, and back to the midline again. And then I can sketch my curve. Okay. So I always like to scale the theta axis. So the way I do it in my class, the y-axis, it's always scaled by 1 unless it's marked otherwise, but I always ask my students to scale the theta axis. So the way to do that is with the period. The period refers to the length of one cycle. So it's the length of this one S-curve. Okay, so from here to here is going to be my period, and since the period is 12 pi and this starts at on the y-axis, that means this 4th tick out here is going to be 12 pi over 5. Okay, and from that I'm going to scale the rest of these. If I was just graphing this, I'd be fine with just plotting, just scaling one of those points, but on the next problem, I'm going to need to find the coordinates of all my critical points, so I'm going to scale the rest of these ticks here. So once I get the 4th one, then I'll go to the 2nd one, because this is just going to be halfway to 12 pi over 6. So halfway to 12 pi over 6 would be 12 pi over 5. Halfway to 12 pi over 5 would be 6 pi over 5. Okay? And once I have the 2nd tick, then I'll go to the 1st tick, because the 1st tick is halfway to the 2nd one. So I'm thinking, what's half of 6 pi over 5? Well, that would be 3 pi over 5, right? Now I know that each tick is 3 pi over 5, so I can kind of count 3 pi over 5s to get to that 3rd tick. So 3 pi over 5, 6 pi over 5, then this would be 9 pi over 5. Right? If you're counting by 3 pi over 5s, that would get you in the right place there. Okay? And yeah, I usually don't scale the y-axis, but I'm going to do that just to make it easy to see what these points would be. So I'm just going to label the 3 places where my roadmap is. This is at 1, this is at -1 where the midline is, and this would be -3. Okay. I'm also going to just give these points names. I'll just call them A, B, C, D, and E, just so I can tell what's what over here. So point A is going to be 0, -1. Okay, and B is going to be, let's see, that's 1 tick to the right, 3 down, but the 1 tick is 3 pi over 5. So this will be 3 pi over 5, -3. Point C is going to be 6 pi over 5, -1. And point D is going to be 9 pi over 5, +1. And my last point out there will be at 12 pi over 5, -1. Okay, and now I got the coordinates of those critical points, and that's the end of the warm-up, and I'll see you next time.